You know Piano Man, you've screamed Uptown Girl at weddings. But Billy Joel, the man behind 150 million records, almost didn't make it to 30. Not from drugs, not from a plane crash. 3 separate secrets. 3 moments that nearly erased one of America's greatest songwriters. Secret number 1. He tried to end his own life before he ever played Madison Square Garden. And that's just the beginning. Secret number 1. Before the Grammys, before Christy Brinkley, before Just the Way You Are, Billy Joel wanted to die. He has a tube in his brain. He walks with a cane now. He'll never write another New York State of Mind. But every time he sits at that piano, he beats the industry that tried to use him. The label that threatened him after his suicide attempt, they're gone. He outlived them. The police who covered up his DUIs retired. He outlasted them. The brain disease trying to silence him, he plays anyway. Billy Joel's 3 dark secrets didn't destroy his career. They defined it. Because the secret isn't the fall. It's the getting back up. If you want more stories of artists who survived what the industry threw at them, hit subscribe, because the biggest hits often hide the deepest scars. And Billy Joel, he's still standing. Piano Man, survivor, legend. It was 1970. He was 21 years old. His first album, Cold Spring Harbor, had been a disaster. The record label accidentally sped up the master tape, making his voice sound like a chipmunk. Critics destroyed him. Fans ignored him. One night, he sat down at his kitchen table. He wrote a note. Then he swallowed a bottle of furniture polish. He later told a biographer, "I just wanted the noise in my head to stop." A friend found him unconscious, rushed him to the hospital. They pumped his stomach. He survived. But here's the dark secret the PR teams didn't want you to know. The record label knew. They knew their botched album had pushed him over the edge. And instead of helping him instead of fixing the tape, they used his suicide attempt to lock him into a longer contract. They said, quote, "If you leave us, we'll tell everyone you're crazy." Billy stayed silent for years. He checked himself into a psychiatric hospital, Meadowbrook. He was the only patient there who wasn't there by court order. The music that came out of that darkness, She's Got Away, Falling of the Rain, songs he wrote while recovering. But the industry didn't care about his healing. They cared about the hits. Secret number 2. Billy Joel should have lost his license and his life dozens of times. By 1978, he was on top of the world. The Stranger had sold 10 million copies. He was dating a supermodel. He had a Grammy, but every night after a show, he would drink. Not champagne, toasts, vodka straight, bottles of it. His drummer, Liberty DeVito, told HBO documentary makers, Billy would finish a concert, sign autographs for an hour, then drink until sunrise, then get on a plane, then do it again. The dark secret. He drove. Constantly. Legally blind in one eye, and completely drunk. Between 1978 and 1985, Billy Joel crashed multiple cars. He flipped a Porsche on the Long Island Expressway. He drove his motorcycle into a ditch twice. He hit a tree, walked away, and called his manager before calling a tow truck. Saturday Night Live made jokes about it. Late-night hosts had a running gag. What's Billy Joel's favorite game? Bumper cars. But it wasn't funny. It was a miracle he never killed anyone. Or himself. His first wife, Elizabeth Weber, left him partly because she was terrified to get in a car with him. Even his second wife, Christy Brinkley, said in the new documentary, through tears, "I loved him, but I couldn't trust him. He would disappear for hours. I'd find him in a bar 2 towns over. No memory of driving there." The industry covered it up. Labels paid off police. Managers made calls. Because Billy Joel was selling out arenas, and you can't sell out arenas if you're in jail for DUI. He finally got sober in 1985. Not because of an intervention. Because he looked in the mirror one morning, saw his father's face, an alcoholic who had abandoned him, and checked himself into rehab. He hasn't had a drink since, but the crashes, the near misses, those are still sealed in police reports that mysteriously disappeared. Secret number 3. The one even his biggest fans don't know. The one that just broke in 2025. Billy Joel stopped writing new music in 1993. River of Dreams was his last pop album. For 30 years, fans asked, why? Why no more songs? The industry said he was lazy. Critics said he ran out of ideas. Even Elton John joked about it. They were all wrong. Billy Joel has normal pressure, hydrocephalus, NPH, a brain disorder where fluid builds up in the skull. It affects balance, vision, hearing, and most importantly for a musician, cognition. He was diagnosed quietly in the early 2000s, but the symptoms started much earlier. The crashes, the confusion, the inability to finish songs. His new HBO documentary, Billy Joel, And So It Goes, reveals the truth. He didn't stop writing because he wanted to. He stopped because he couldn't anymore. The fluid in his brain made it impossible to hold a melody the way he used to. Here's the dark secret. The labels buried. They knew. In 1998, Columbia Records pressured him to tour anyway. He fell on stage in Philadelphia, blamed it on a rug. It wasn't a rug. His balance was failing. In 2023, his condition worsened. He canceled his entire tour. He now has a brain shunted tube in his skull to drain the fluid. He's doing physical therapy just to walk in a straight line. And the industry, they're already planning his farewell tour, not because he wants to retire, because they want one last payday before he physically can't perform anymore. Billy Joel told a friend, "I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of not being able to play." The man who wrote Piano Man might never write another song, and the people who made millions from his talent, they're selling tickets to his last shows while he struggles to remember the lyrics to his own hits. Billy Joel is still here, still playing, still selling out Madison Square Garden every month. He has a tube in his brain. He walks with a cane now. He'll never write another New York State of Mind. But every time he sits at that piano, he beats the industry that tried to use him. The label that threatened him after his suicide attempt. They're gone. He outlived them. The police who covered up his DOIs retired. He outlasted them. The brain disease trying to silence him. He plays anyway. Billy Joel's 3 dark secrets didn't destroy his career. They defined it. Because the secret isn't the fall, it's the getting back up. If you want more stories of artists who survived what the industry threw at them, hit subscribe. Because the biggest hits often hide the deepest scars, and Billy Joel, he's still standing. Piano Man, survivor, legend.